Hey guys, Ken here, Backpacking Light. Today I'm going to talk about the pre-tense or poky ridgeline. This is a two-man freestanding alpine tent. It is made for a little bit more robust conditions. So it's got these crossing poles, and it's meant to take on something like the MSR Advanced Pro 2 or the First Light and Black Diamond Highlight and so on. And you can see it's got, as the Highlight does, it has the side entrance here, but the difference is on this one you have the two entry and exits, so you can even put two vestibules. You can buy the vestibule edition, which pushes it out here, which is something I would recommend if you are two people. It's a big tent. Now I would say that this is a proper two-man tent, while the other tents I mentioned, those are all one-man tents, and even kind of small for one-man tents. Now, what you'll notice almost right away is that the ridgeline is a proper two-wall tent. You compare that to the other tents I mentioned, they're all single wall tents. So it's a lot like the Hilleberg Unna. And what I really like about this tent is that you can easily take out this inner tent. So a lot of times for example, an alpine winter, you really, at least I don't use an inner tent if I don't have to, as it just leaves a lot more space in the tent. But as I said earlier, this is a proper two-man tent. It is big enough for two people and two properly sized people. So you'll see this is the large, wide Thermarest X30 sleeping pack. And this tent isn't tightly pitched. So even when it's not tightly pitched and it's kind of sagging here on the sides, it's still big enough for me. Long enough, wide enough, and with enough gear in here as well. Yeah, so it has, you can see here, it even has another exact same entry exit on this side. It's got a cool little feature. Now all of the tents have these vents, but I really like how they implemented the vent system here, and it's this little, so it's got a mesh net and it's got that, and you can completely close that depending on the conditions, and it's easy to open that up, and you can do that on the inside as well, as the net has a zipper on it, and you can tighten that as well. And you can see that's the large wide, and you can get another, probably a large wide in there, but you'd probably go with the smaller altogether. It's got these two mesh pockets, one on this side and one over, no, it's got four, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then up here as well. So that's how, I mean, you can easily, as I was saying, can adjust the inside if you want more air or less air. You can do that all from the inside. Okay, so it's kind of hard to see it here, but I just wanted to give an idea between the sizes. This is the Advanced Pro 2 from MSR and the Pre-tense poky, or pre-tense ridgeline. They're similar in the fact that they're dome alpine tents, but there are some big differences. For example, if you're a smaller solo person, then I would probably say go with the MSR Advanced Pro, even over the First Light or the Highlight or these kind of things, because it is a very stable, lightweight tent. The Advanced Pro 2, you can have a pack weight of about 1.3 kilos, and that'll give you a single wall tent that's going to get you through anything the mountains are going to throw at you. but it is smaller. When you get in it, you kind of mush your head, or at least I do. I'm 190 centimeters or 6'3". So it's really, you know, for me it's almost too small, and I have to have a rain jacket on my feet and on my head to keep kind of the condensation off. So what you look for is a tent that gives you a lot of ventilation. So for example, for the Advanced Pro 2, for me, for it to work, I have to kind of keep it like this when I'm sleeping, or all together down. As long as there's not a snowstorm, then that works quite well. But I'll still get condensation in the tent, even with my head here breathing out. And you really can't avoid that. I'll put that in here and you kind of see, you know, it's already, maybe you can see it in the video, if not I'll take a closer look here, but you can already see that lengthwise the X-Therm large wide doesn't fit. It's already mushing the back there. It's squishing up the entire sleeping mat. And when I get in, it's a good solo size. It's got great height, but lengthwise you're mushing. Now I've got my feet firmly pressed against the length of it, and my head pushing up. One of the other things that's pretty cool with the poky ridgeline is you even get this third pole for the inside of your tent, and it kind of gives it even more stability, and then that gives you proper ridge, you know, alpine tent. So you can use it as an alpine tent, and you can either have it with these two, it works fine with the two tent poles, but it even has this third one that's optional that you put in there that gives it considerably more stability in really bad weather, but it also increases the weight, of course. So now that also gives you a vestibule space, but to increase the vestibule even more, if you have like really wet stuff but you want to keep it under the tent in the winter, then you can easily open up one side of the inner tent like I have here. Maybe you can't see that, I don't know. And you can put your wet gear right here within the tent itself and still have plenty of room for your feet, or whichever end you decide. Now this third pole it makes the tent a little bit wider. It makes it a little bit or considerably more stable as it kind of hooks up all three of these. And if you look at it now, that tent's not going anywhere when you've got that third pole in there. So I can't think of the word right now, but the the flexibility of the tent makes it a great choice for a lot of people. Because if you use it with the two poles and just the outer tent, which is excellent for 3 season, then you've got yourself, you know, a 1 kilo freestanding big tent. Because the inner tent really only takes about a minute to pull in and out. And just the details of the tent certainly are worth mentioning. Like all the poky, it's just on a different level of design and showmanship. These are top quality products that you get at a fairly decent price. Yeah, so I hope that gives at least a good overview of the tent. So that's what you have, the poky ridgeline freestanding alpine tent. The total configuration that you see here is about 2 kilos. Without the third pole, it's about 1.7, and if you take out the inner tent and you just have the 2 poles, then it's about 1 kilo. So it's a very flexible modular system that works for most people and most uses. So Thanks for tuning in. If you liked the video, subscribe on our YouTube channel, and if you want to buy the tent, we have them at backpackandlight.se in Sweden and .dk throughout Europe. Cheers!